One final regular season battle, same team, same rink, and now the table is set for the playoffs. Tonight might not shift the standings, but it could swing the momentum before everything counts for real. Good evening, Crustacean Nation, and welcome back to the Columbus Civic Center, where the Athens Rock Lobsters and the Columbus River Dragons close out their 56-game journey with one last showdown before the Commissioner's Cup playoffs begin. I'm Matt Rad, bringing you tonight's action on the Athens Rock Lobster Network, streaming exclusively on YouTube. Last night it was Columbus who came out on top, earning a 3-1 win behind a 2-goal night from Kyle Moore and a stout defensive effort. Crustacean Gallant supplied the lone tally for Athens, notching his league best 39th goal of the season and his 16th on the power play, further extending his lead in both categories. But perhaps the biggest development came off the ice with Carolina's win over Monroe. The Rock Lobsters are now locked in the second place in the Continental Division, and they now know their playoff opponent, these very same Columbus River Dragons. Let's take a quick look at the fan saves impact players of the game. First, for the River Dragons, you have to put Kyle Moore up there. Coming off of a 2-goal performance, he showed creativity and bite around the Rock Lobster net. Meanwhile, for the Rock Lobsters, it's Carter Shinkarik, one of the top defensemen of the season. He's been deployed at center as of late to help balance the danger of all three forward lines. He comes into the night ranking third in the FPHL for assists with a total of 62. A quick moment of silence here at the Columbus Civic Center. So what does tonight mean? Momentum, tone setting, a preview of what's coming next week. Game 1 of the playoffs is right back here on Wednesday, April 16th. But first, one more ride. Let's meet tonight's Athens forward engine starters. In goal, Josh Rosenzweig. On defense, Adam Oja and Michael Greco. Up front, Crustacean Gallant, Philip Virgili, and Daniil Glukaryov. Scratches tonight are Bodan Zinchenko, Kyle Russell, Zach Papapetros, and Matt Garcia. Checking in from last night are Hunter Alden and Adam Oja. The team physician provided by Piedmont Athens Regional is Dr. Alec Graff. The Athens Ford engine starters are brought to you by Athens Ford, Georgia's biggest and best Ford dealership. It's Athens, it's Columbus, it's the regular season finale, and now the next chapter starts. Let's drop the puck first ceremoniously between these two captains, Kirk Underwood and Carter Shinkarik. Two former teammates. Little respect between those two. Of course, switches in net for these two teams. Matt Petizian will get the start in goal tonight for the River Dragons after the win last night from Trevor Babin. Head coach Steve Martinson goes back to Josh Rosenzweig for the first time in 4 games. 20 minutes on the clock. Of course, everything is set for the playoffs. So right now, both of these teams are really just playing to try and tune up before facing each other in the postseason starting Wednesday. We'll tell you more about that here in just a second. Looks like Austin Doe is checked back in as well. He gets the start tonight. Did not play last night, the native of Estevan, Saskatchewan. The Columbus River Dragons might be hungry, however, to try and even up this regular season series. Currently 4-5 against Athens. Puck drops on this one. Two of the best teams in the FPHL. They both reside in the Peach State, and they face off against each other tonight, just like they will in the playoffs. Greco makes the step up and makes the hit, but there's some freedom for the River Dragons in behind. Doe with a setup there for Lind, who opens up the scoring just 22 seconds in. It's a little bit too easy for the River Dragons, who get the scoring started very early on in this game. You see the shot ripped from Lind in the right circle. Rock Lobsters will have to play in from behind for the second straight night. Lind, with just his 6th tally of the year, beats Rosenswag on the short side. Face-off will happen to the left of Petizian here. He had a great start to his first couple games against the Rock Lobsters this season, but had a few games to remember, rather to forget from the Columbus perspective, to remember from an Athens perspective. Shinkarik looking for a tip out front. Athens trying to find an immediate response. Robertson with a poker on Jemaev. Puck comes free for Weisblatt at the line. Shinkarik, another shot from the point. Weisblatt tries to follow it up. It's taken away, though, from him and sent into the zone by Nathan Balkwill. Puck pinned into the corner. Weisblatt backhand flip behind the goal line. Shinkarik to Milan up the left, trying to send Kyle Powell. Rock Lobsters playing in behind now after the early goal from Connor Lind. Tight angle shot came from the boards. Hunter misses high. Malik Johnson lays a hit on Slahetka at the half wall right in front of the Rock Lobster bench. Athens trying to play a little bit more physically. And we saw that on the step up on the hit right before the goal. Athens played a physical game all season long, but you have to be careful not to commit too much forward, as this River Dragons team can make you pay. Columbus get it out of the zone once again. One shot on goal in this game, and it's the difference maker thus far. Murray, nice move on the far side, looking for Stafora. Nice evasion there, though, from the goal scorer, Lind. Off the end boards, Oja's there, gets it free for Alden. Kolatarsi, and that invisible trapezoid, gets it back to Oja. Banked hard around, Avery Smith. Can't get it out of the zone. Nice little interception there from Stafora. Finds Smith. Back to the youngster. Can't drag it in between the skates of a River Dragon there, but Oja might have some opportunity the other direction. Looking for a little tip out in front from Alden. We're still on first goal of the season. Watch for Hunter Alden. Shot came in from the point from former River Dragon Greco. Smith around the boards. There in the far corner is Storjahan. Greco looking for the big hit again. Shot came in from the right boards from Stafora. Pad saved by Petizian. Lofted pass. 3 Rock Lobsters there. They can't get a touch to the puck, though. Underwood from the near side of the point, off the end boards. Puck loose out in the slot. Greco and the Rock Lobsters do enough. Wickline. Good pass that rides the blue line. Austin Doe touches it in, but can't touch it into his own route. Glukarioff trying to find his skates here on the near side. Protecting the puck with those skates. Puck in behind Petizian. Balkwill around for Underwood. Loose touch of the puck. Weisblatt into Milan. Milan, any point in this game will be the 100th of his career, rather of his year. Here he is again. Milan looks behind, sees Shinkarik. Shinkarik, backhand flip towards Petizian. Garrett Milan tries to stuff it back in on the backhand. Murray wants a shot. A rocket that whistles wide. Weisblatt in around towards Glukarioff. Shinkarik tries to play the clearance out of midair, but it's all the way back in the defensive zone for Athens. Off the stick of Weisblatt and in. Johnson to chase. Underwood being chased by both Johnson and the Swede Virgili. Looks like Shinkarik back to being deployed as a defenseman here tonight. Rock Lobsters will ice the puck with a little bit more than 5 minutes gone here in the first period. The River Dragons strike first again tonight. Down 1-0 are the Rock Lobsters after the early goal from Lind. More Rock Lobster hockey coming up after this.
At Athens Stonecasting, Don Hill oversees acres of sculptures poured from thousands of molds. Endless possibilities for neighbors who envision unique gardens. Craig Meeks at First American Bank and Trust caught that vision. Together, Don and Craig create solutions that keep the business teeming with new gifts for the garden. Vision. It's one of the core convictions we live by. Learn more about what we stand for at firstamericanishere.com. First American Bank and Trust.
Crustacean Nation, it's time to gear up before playoff season. Our spring into savings sale is happening now through Sunday evening with 25 to 30% off select items online at shop.rocklobsterhockey.com. Hoodies, hats, and more while supplies last. And for everyone who's been waiting, this is a secret for just you. The moment is finally here. Our red, navy, and white replica jerseys are officially restocked. Grab yours online or the team store. These never stay on the shelves long, so don't miss your shot. Much better crowd here in Columbus than last night. And they like the way that this game has started. The Rock Lobsters are starting to fire back here, though. After letting up the first goal on the first shot on goal, Rock Lobsters now have 3 shots on net themselves. Virgili jousting with McDonald on the face-off dot. Now he takes the biscuit away. Tries to spread some lingonberry jam on that towards Johnson on the near side. Ends up missing the pass, does Murray. Rosenswag able to play it. A little bit of a loose touch in. Goes through Murray. Virgili now has to look for an option. Finds one in Kolatarsian behind. Hard banker pass. Just misses Virgili. Kolatarsi asks for the icing. He's going to get it. Kolatarsi, native of Fort Myers, Florida. There's something boiling in behind here. It's Murray and a River Dragon getting knotted up. Looks like it was Kyle Moore who's coming off of that 2-goal performance last night. I won't lie, these are some pretty Columbus River Dragons unis, but very, very difficult to read the number on the sleeve. Weisblatt, backhand flipping around. Milan pokes at it. Still gets lofted into the neutral ice. Shinkaruk going to meet it first. Lofted towards Glukaryov, who's back trioed up here with Milan and Weisblatt. Got the start with Virgili and Gallant at the beginning of this game. Glukaryov steps on the brakes. Pass just misses Milan. That might spring the River Dragons with a 2-on-1 the other way. Left circle shot swallowed up by Rosie. Fans saw something they didn't like. Kyle Moore, I believe he got pushed into the net. And now Milan and Jemayev. Little stare down there from the Rock Lobster veteran, who's 1 point away from the century mark for the first time in his career. Both teams will make changes. Michael Greco grabbing the collar of Jemayev and staring him down eye to eye there. We had a talk up here in the press box after the game yesterday. We thought that this one would be a physical contest, to say the least. We're still in the early going here. River Dragons almost double their tally as McDonald was there on the welcome mat. Up the boards, gets cut out by Stafora. Has issues trying to take the puck with him. Still in Rock Lobster possession. Oja gifts it to McDonald. Entered in on the far side. Around the left circle, off the end boards. Centering pass, cut out by Stafora once again. Smith tries the shot. Pad saved by Petizian. Stafora sweeps it to Oja. A little tip from Alden. Not sure if it ever reached Petizian. Greco has been trying to lay the body so much in this first 7 minutes of this game. Greco looking like a cannonball out there in what is his former home ice. Virgili tried to open up the body. Up in front was Gallant. Gets stuffed by Petizian. There is a very, very good chance that Kason Gallant will end the regular season today as the only FPHL player to reach 40 goals. Would be a very, very special achievement for the youngster. Ty Benton asking who are the healthy scratches tonight. You have Kyle Russell, Bodan Zinchenko, Zach Papapetros, and Matt Garcia. Looks like there will be a couple of penalties for a couple of players, one from each side. Slehetka and Virgili will have a chance to jaw at each other for a couple of minutes of play. We'll see if those two penalties are offsetting roughings or if we're going to 4-on-4. Right now I'm seeing 4 skaters for each team, so it looks like we're going to the 4-on-4. Milan, Shinkaruk, Glukaryov, and Kolatarsi on this 4-man unit. Slehetka and Virgili to sit for 2 minutes each. Slehetka 2 minutes for roughing, Virgili 2 for cross-checking. Jemayev off the Rock Lobster pass. Pirouette, pass to the line. Shot goes wide on Rosenzweig. Kolatarsi just shepherds it toward his goaltender, and Rosie has the oven mitt over it. I think it was Lind who had that next shot. Already a goal in this one. Lind, in his 4th year in the FPHL, broke into this league at a young age of 21. Bersani almost edged it over to a teammate, but the Rock Lobsters come away with the puck. Adam Oja, the defenseman, sitting on the offensive blue line. Here comes Shinkarik. Dancing through life. Milan, backhand flip. Milan tries to follow up his own shot and stuff it in on the short side. Petizian, don't think he knew much about that second save that he made, but he's able to keep it out anyway. Good poke check away from Glukaryov. Picks it up on the far defensive faceoff circle. Here he is again on the near side now. Glukaryov through the neutral ice. Will he turn into Danny Dangles here? Good move in and around the net. Gets himself to the far side. Finds Oja at the point. Oja just about squeaks it in. Shinkarik can't return the favor over to Glukaryov. Glukaryov, such a good stick handler. So good at being able to move that puck where he wants it, but he gets cut out. Nice little move from McDonald. Shinkarik got a piece of his stick on that one, taking it wide of Rosie. Shinkarik, that first step from behind the net is so deadly from him. Gallant plays it with the skate. In around the end boards. He feels the hit is coming from Underwood. Couple of fun glass slappers there. Played with a high stick there by Joe Kolatarsi. They need to be careful slapping the glass so hard here. Like, we had 2 panes that needed to be replaced in the rink last night. Face off in the danger zone for the River Dragons. It's going to be 17 against 17 here. Austin Doe, who has a Danish background, going up against the Swede Virgili, who got kicked out, and Gallant will take his place. Wickline, the hot hand, good centering pass in behind. Rosenswag pokes it away with a stick and into the netting. Rock Lobsters right now doing what they were unable to do last night, and that is have the advantage in the shot on goal tally. Hasn't counted yet in their favor, but hopefully more of that to come, and that will change. Malik Johnson in search for an option. Hard banker off the corner, picked up by Kolatarsi. He puts one off the boards himself, picked back up by Columbus, lofted towards Rosenswag, plays it like a pop fly. In and around for Kolatarsi. Gallant on the far side. Around the end boards. Gallant took the hit. Stays on his feet. Virgili able to pirouette, get the pass off. Here comes Kason Gallant. We'll stick it further in the zone as that line goes off for a change. Johnson will stay on to try and keep pressure and make it more difficult to play out the defensive zone for Columbus. Oja misplays the puck. Almost danger there for the Rock Lobsters, but they're able to stomp the fire out. Bersani played a lot of mind games on this Rock Lobster team last night. I was told that that was the game plan for the River Dragons. Johnson finds Smith. Johnson with a long shift here. Centers a pass. Puck was loose out in front, but Alden didn't know where it had flown off to. River Dragons trying to turn that puck over on the forecheck. Shot comes in from the point, puck loose out in front. Rosenswag with a double save. That shot came from a long distance, but I think the traffic out in front made Rosenswag not aware of where it was coming from. Lind with another shot. Pat save from Rosenswag. Now it's the River Dragons who are trying to build up that shot on goal tally. Rosenswag in the back office. Plays it for Greco. Alden floats it to Stafora. Poked away in from behind him by Scott Doherty. Pardon me, it's Moore. Kyle Moore. Past the goal line, then fires a shot to the left of the far face-off circle. Another shot came in from the point. Milan, beautiful play with the backhand there. Weisblatt. Milan! That one knuckleballs over the pipe after the deflection. Smart play there from Rosenzweig, waving help his way, as that will go down as an icing. However, we will go to a commercial timeout here at Columbus Civic Center. That early goal still the difference maker right now. Rock Lobsters trying to equalize before we end this first period. More hockey coming up here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
The chase for the Commissioner's Cup is nearly about to begin, and your Athens Rock Lobsters are clawing their way to glory. Be part of the madness this postseason and turn the tank into the loudest barn in the league. Don't miss your chance to witness every hit, goal, and game-winning moment as the Rock Lobsters battle for the ultimate prize. Postseason tickets are on sale now. First game at the tank will be Friday at 7:05. Also, Game 3 Saturday at 7:05 if necessary. Grab yours at rocklobstershockey.com today or scan the QR code on your screen right now. Let's pack the tank and make some playoff magic, because in the postseason, teams are going to learn the hashtag Fear the Claw. After the River Dragon icing, the Rock Lobsters with an offensive zone faceoff. Good hit up from Robertson. Weisblatt unable to get mustard on that shot. Robertson lays the hit and exchanges a couple pushes and shoves with Hunter. Here's Robo again. Glukaryov. The Russian rifle, centering pass under the stick of Weisblatt. Glukaryov wins it back at the offensive blue. Robertson shovels it to Shinkarik. Milan tries to push it into the zone. Weisblatt looking for the Cronwall there on the near side. Jemayev with a shot, saved by Rosie. That is save number 6 of the night. Josh Rosenzweig. Last game for him was that 31 save performance in the 9-3 win against Baton Rouge. That was his 20th win of the season. He currently ranks second in the FPHL in save percentage. Wickline wins the draw. Ooh, a nice fiery shot from Storjahan on the edge of the left circle. Rosenzweig with the reaction save. Almost another one coming his way, but Storjahan gets blocked from a short distance. That one sends it in to the netting. Another face-off here between two of Scandinavian descent. Virgili trying to play it with the skate. Storjahan again on the far side. Kolatarsi, hard banker. Storjahan meets it. Backhand flip to the line. That one took a couple of tips before it reached Rosenzweig on the shot from Slahetka. Kolatarsi, Gallant. Finds Johnson with a pass. Gallant there to help him out. Off the end boards. Johnson. Clever feed towards Gallant. Gallant with a diving poke. Back into the zone. Johnson tries the deke. Gets cut out off of him. Colatarsi tipped in front of the red line by Alden. Officials say no icing. Nice move from Columbus to send themselves the other way. McDonald, good rip from the right circle on the feed by Moore. That will be an icing this time. .537 remaining in this first period, and now it's the River Dragons who have the shot on goal advantage at 9-8. They also have the advantage that matters, the 1-0 lead after the early goal in the first minute from Connor Lind. Last game of the regular season, we're on the watch for a couple of players, namely Kason Gallant, looking for goal number 40. He's one away. Garrett Milan, point number 100. Stafora on the dump in, played by Petizian. Over the head there of Shinkarik. Kyle Moore, 2 goals last night. Clever shot from Ryan Hunter, who then tries to feed it in the back door. Another icing against Athens. Goals were difficult to come across last night for Athens. However, they seem more well on their way tonight to at least being able to have those opportunities to score those goals. 3-1 loss for the Rock Lobsters. The lone goal came from Kason Gallant on the power play. You're about to play this team in the playoffs again. You need to start proving that you can generate 5-on-5 offense against them. Weisblatt was going to take the face-off, gets kicked off. Shinkarik takes his place. And then Shinkarik gets kicked out. Weisblatt pushes it ahead for Stafora off the rip. Lofted in, and after the icing, everybody will go off for the change except Weisblatt. Nice poke check there from Glukaryov. He's shown some great two-way play this season. Awkward bounce on the far side from the pass from Weisblatt. Jemayev gets it off after Weisblatt was trying to tag him with a hip check. Balkwill stopped at the line. Colatarsi. We go back to immediate timeout here. 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the first period. The Rock Lobsters continue to find it challenging to score against this River Dragons team. Will that change as this game continues?
This thing on? Perfect.
Since we opened in 1968, we've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. Good crowd here tonight in Columbus. It definitely feels like a preview of a playoff atmosphere between these two teams that will meet each other in the playoffs in this building starting Wednesday at 7:05. That'll be game one. Game two will take place at Aikens Ford Arena in Athens, 7:05 that Friday night. And then Saturday once again if the series is split one apiece going into that game. Golatarsi. Good wherewithal there to make the step up. Now Milan pushing and shoving, winning that one back. Great feed from behind. But no Rock Lobster there to answer it. River Dragons starting to try and build from their own net. Took a touch of Rosenzweig's stick. Golatarsi with a reverse hit. Keeps that puck where it is. The River Dragons really smart in their positioning over these last two games. They've really stopped. Really don't remember any breaks over these two games for the Rock Lobsters. Puck almost came loose for Gallant. Robertson stops it at the line, but his pass is met by Wickline. Good passage of play. Wickline saved by Rosenzweig, who was sprawling. Malik Johnson trying to create that break that we haven't seen this weekend. Virgili, great move. Finds the puck in the left circle. Casey Gallant out in front. It's swept from under his skates. Virgili able to touch it in the end boards. Can't find a teammate from behind Petizian. Start of this game has flown by. Already only 2.5 minutes left of this first period. Smith into Hunter Alden. Alden with a great move at the far boards. Centered a pass towards Shinkarik, but he missed him. Come on, Aldi. We need you to be a little selfish here, man. We want that goal for you. Greco picks it up. Second time around for Michael Greco. Alden trying to shake that left hand out, showing that he got slashed. And it looks like instead it'll be a high stick against Athens. Going to be the first power play of the night going the way of the Columbus River Dragons. As the Rock Lobsters go on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill, they're going to need strong, skilled, strategic defense to deal with this River Dragons power play. Two minutes on the power play timer, 1:51 remaining in the first period. Storjahan twists away with the faceoff. Weisblatt tries to take it in the neutral zone. Shinkarik intercepts a pass and sends it the length of the ice. Moore looking, he was trying to make sure that the River Dragons were going on a 5-on-3. It looks like that's not going to happen for him. Puck grabbed out of the midair. Weisblatt can't get it over the line. River Dragons still looking dangerous. Underwood. Centering pass past Hunter toward McDonald. Hunter just about keeps it in. Underwood has Shinkarik on him in a battle of the two captains. McDonald with a feed to Moore at the line from the corner. Back to the veteran. I think that one hit off of the linesman, and Milan gets it all the way back down. About 45 seconds to go as what remains of this period will potentially be played on the power play for the River Dragons. Athens gets it out once again as there one last rush with a man advantage in what remains of this period. Malik Johnson, a great battle on the forecheck. Wins the puck back. Virgili, smart move from him to make sure that he doesn't quell the offensive fire from the River Dragons and let up a late goal. That does it for action in the first period. Just 30-some-odd seconds into the matchup, and it was the River Dragons who struck first once again. Goal came from Connor Lind, who beat Rosenzweig on the short side to take the lead for Columbus for the second straight night. Columbus feeling good before these two teams meet in the first round of the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. Rock Lobsters will go back into the tunnel, talk about it during the intermission, and try to change the narrative of this game. We'd like to give a special shout out to any of you that might be watching from the Terrapin Tap Room tonight. Not too late to start heading on over there. Food truck, awesome intermission prizes, and of course a special appearance from the one and only Claudius. We hope you're enjoying yourselves tonight. We hope you're enjoying watching Rock Lobsters hockey, whether it be here on the stream at home in the Terrapin Tap Room or, of course, at Aikens Ford Arena. If you haven't already, make sure that you get your hands on your playoff tickets now. Athens Rock Lobsters are going to try to claw their way to glory in their inaugural season. Be part of the madness this postseason and turn the tank into the loudest barn in the league. Don't miss your chance to witness every hit, every goal, and every game-winning moment as the Rock Lobsters battle for the ultimate prize. Postseason tickets are on sale now. Grab yours at rocklobstershockey.com today, or take that phone out and scan the QR code on your screen. Let's pack the tank and make some playoff magic, because in the offseason, rather the postseason, teams are going to learn to hashtag fear the claw. Well, a little bit of a preview in toward the playoffs, and of course a preview at the time of this two-game set against the Columbus River Dragons. As always, I had my weekly talk with head coach Steve Martinson. As we always do during the first intermission, here is our weekly Coach's Corner segment. Hello again, Crustacean Nation, and welcome back to Coach's Corner on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. At the time of recording, the team is coming off of splitting a two-game set against the reigning Commissioner's Cup champions, the Binghamton Black Bears. The Rock Lobsters are going into the final two games of the regular season in a weekend on the road against the Columbus River Dragons. Mattine Rad, play-by-play voice of the team, joined as always by head coach Steve Martinson. Coach Marty, that series against Bingo felt like everything we thought it was going to be, a high-paced clash between the two of the league's best. It's the first time the two teams have faced off. Do you feel like you felt the difference between playing the Black Bears as opposed to other teams in this league?
Well, they're a good team, so other teams listen to these, so I'm going to watch what I say. But they're certainly, you can see why they're top in their division. They're very deep. They're deep with defense. Their goaltending's really good, and they got all three lines can score, so they're definitely they're the team to beat in the North for sure.
In that first game, we just exploded for offense in the second period. Avery Smith with an absolute beauty of a goal, and then two from Kason Gallant. It felt like that there were three goals in that second period that were generated by the team's speed, and that's keeping in mind how quick a team Binghamton is as well. It looked like the same exact identity that we've seen from the team all season long. Was that the plan, or were there tweaks that you had planned for to deal with the Black Bears' strengths?
Well, that division is weaker than ours, and I think their defense had a little trouble with our speed. I don't think they've seen that. Certainly from three lines, they can skate like we can. So I'm sure they're on their heels a little bit. And, I thought we played a physical game too. So, as far as their team goes, we made some good plays. I thought we outplayed them, and I thought that the score was, obviously they got back in it with the power play, empty netters when they pulled the goalie. But, it was a little bit frustrating at the end, and I think that gave them a little bit of momentum going into the second game.
And that leads me into my next question. As you mentioned, they scored all 3 of their goals in the third period, all on the power play, and 2 of them came with the net empty. Your group is known for never backing down, but how did you feel about the team's physical push and level of challenge as the game kind of wound down there?
Well, I liked our physicality during the whistle. I didn't like the stuff after. I mean, the calls that we had, and we were warned that they talk a lot and they don't want to back it up. It's typical. It's all talk and no dropping the gloves. So we got a couple of calls where we pushed guys. The one, the one on Zach I didn't like because the guy's ripped his stick out of his hands and he gives him a little push and that gives him the power play. And Murray's got to he got to pick his spots of that's another thing. It's a push after the play. And same thing with Carter. Carter's penalty was, not during the play. It was afterwards. And sure enough, it's the bad penalties that sometimes hurt you more because, you're killing off a weak penalty and instead of, you go run somebody through the boards and it's like, okay, let's kill this off. It's a great hit. So we shot ourselves in the foot a little bit. And same thing with the goals against on the, in the first period, the next night, we just shot ourselves in the foot. We didn't defend well.
That would end up making Kaysen Galland's hat trick goal the game winner in that one. And Kaysen is the first Rock Lobster to log multiple hat tricks and do it against one of the best teams in the league and one of the best goaltenders as well. You know so well what it takes to succeed at all the different levels of pro hockey. What do you think is the ceiling for Galley as he just seems to keep getting better and better?
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly the top rookie in the league, and their defenseman Bones a pretty good. He's a pretty good rookie too, and we're getting a ton out of Gallant, and Kaysen. He works hard, he skates, he shoots on the rush. He's got a great one timer. He's good around the net. He's not afraid to go to the front of the net. I mean, him and Milan are a couple of guys that they're not our biggest guys, but they're always in the greasy areas, and that's why they lead the team in goals.
William Lavalier was just so good in that game, and the scoreline didn't show just how much he stood on his head in that performance. Seeing how important he's become and the types of performances he's had, do you feel surprised at all that he didn't stick in Columbus or Monroe at all?
Well, I mean, it is just so competitive for goalies because of there's only so many spots to go around. So it's and more and more NHL teams are signing 2 goalies and pushing them down to the coast. So it's really hard for guys to get in. And then if you don't get in your first year or two, you kind of get looked over in that, okay, you might be good enough. You're just not getting the opportunity because there's just every year there's so many guys coming from junior or from college or Canadian college. So it's tough for goalies to crack in, especially if they don't do it right away.
Bingo came out and won the next night 4-1 in what was a much more rough and tumble game. Besides just all the penalties, what else do you think was different between night 2 and night 1?
Well, I thought the biggest, we turned the puck over on the power play, entering the zone instead of getting it deep, and there's nobody backing up. That was a tough one to watch, and we didn't defend well on the first goal. We just stood there and watched and let the guys skate right around. It wasn't like they made really good plays to get goals. We just kind of, here's a scoring chance. So, and on the first one, they had a double screen. Our defenseman was screening it. They do things well. They had guys in front of the net. They go to the net well, but I thought really that the biggest plus for them is the ridiculous 14 minutes of penalties that Milan gets in the first period. So you're taking your best player out, really for the entire first period. And that's where, that gives them momentum and, it breaks up, one of the top scoring lines in the league. And, we should have been on the power play from that. And how that, 2 defensemen grab him in front of the net. One's pushing him from behind. One's pushing him, grabbing him around the neck and rips his helmet off. And it's just a ridiculous call. And then the 10-minute, it's so frustrating. And it put me in a bad mood because I'm looking at it as what is possibly being called here. So, that was really frustrating. And I thought it certainly helped Binghamton, immensely.
I promise, Coach, I'm not trying to get you in trouble here. So feel free to give me the old no comment if you wish. But Dakota Bone was thrown out of that game for a high hit to the head. that would ultimately be rescinded by the league and declared as an elbowing major instead. What was your reaction to the call in the moment, and what did you make of the league's decision to adjust it?
Yeah, I'm so done with it. I don't even, we get guys that throw a couple of punches, and it's a game misconduct, and you get guys literally trying to injure players and headshots, and it's ridiculous. It's been ridiculous all year, and it's just frustrating, and there's just no rhyme or reason to it. But we've been, we haven't had any shots where we've gotten guys suspended. We're probably the least suspended team in the league, and a couple of the ones that we've had, we shouldn't have been. They shouldn't have been. You punch a guy that wants to fight, and you punch him once or twice on the way down. That's not, that's not aggressor. And I had the league tell me, and the one with who was it?
With Greco?
Yeah, with Greco, that they threw 12 punches and he threw 6 punches. So right away when the league says he threw 12 punches and the video shows 6, right away it's like, okay, well, what are we really doing here? But I just told the league, if guys are going to run their mouth, they deserve to get punched. I mean, that's one of the reasons they have fighting in the game is so you can police that stuff. And I'm frustrated on it. And like I said, I'll probably move on to something else now, but it's ridiculous to some of the calls.
Well, you said that you would pay closer attention to scouting their team in these 2 games that you've played against them because they were potential championship implications later down the line. What did you learn about the Black Bears after these 2 games?
Well, they're a good team. They have guys that hit and they go to the net, and they don't have any weak spots. And I what I learned about them, I'm not going to say, to be honest with you, but I mean, they're a good team, and to beat them, you're going to have to play good hockey, and you're going to have to play a full 60 minutes.
Real quick, Coach, something out of the transactions page on federalhockey.com. We saw that there was new 4-game contracts for Joe Colatarsi and Orca Weisblatt. Those contracts won't last into the playoffs. Can you just take us through the nitty-gritty there of
yeah, it's just it's a roster move to allow us to have more players on the roster. You're allowed to do that during the season. A lot of teams have been doing it, at the end, and it allows us to have a chance to play more guys on the weekend. So I'm going back and forth of what lineup I'm going to play, and it's really just a salary cap move and a roster move because we had the PTO still left over. So I figured we might as well use them, and that way we have a little bit extra money to spend too.
You return to the Columbus Civic Center this weekend, where the top spot in the Continental Division could come down to the final day. You would need to take both games against the River Dragons and also would need the already eliminated Monroe Moccasins to take a game off of Carolina. How do you approach a scenario like this, knowing what's on the line, but also knowing that some of it is out of your control?
Well, Monroe's got a skilled team, and they can beat anybody if they play a disciplined game and a hard-working game. But whether they do that or not, that's been their problem all year. They have players, and whether they play a good game or not, that remains to be seen. They got swept at home, I think, last weekend by Columbus. So I'm not counting on them to to do anything. If they do it, great. The only thing we could do is win the next game and then the game after that. And right now you have to look at it as, it's out of our control. The likely chances you're playing Columbus. So it's 2 games against a team that most likely would play Wednesday. So it could be a really interesting weekend as far as that goes. And that's the way I'm looking at it.
At the end of the day, I know you well. I know you want to be able to be the best team and stamp your name on top of the division. But do you see the benefit in staying in the 2 spot, knowing that you could potentially not have to worry about that gruesome of a travel schedule until the final if you make it there?
Well, the crazy play-in is kind of weird too, because a team has to play. It kind of really gives the team in the first round the number 1 seed advantage because they have to play a game, during the week and then travel and then play again. And so, I still would like to finish first if possible. But like I said, it's out of our hands. We gave away some games and now we're paying the fiddler. So, we'll see. But, we're going into this weekend to win Friday night and win Saturday night. And, we're still establishing who's playing with who and what the defensive pairs are and who's going to be playing the lineup. And, it's really competitive, and so there's a lot of things for us that we're doing this weekend that, that are in our control and what we want to do.
Is it hard not to look too far into the future, knowing that you have two crucial games coming up that could mean the top of the division, but also that these are two games against a team where you're very likely to play them next week in the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's like I said, you want to establish things in these two games, and you want to establish your game, and you want to establish how you want to play, and you don't want to give them any momentum. You don't want to give them any any light at the end of the tunnel. So we're going in there to play hard, and play a game that gives us the best chance to win, and that's being physical, but not physical within the whistles. The stuff after the whistles, I'm tired of watching it, and I don't want our guys engaging in it, because if a guy wants to fight, all they have to do is drop their gloves, and all the talking and kind of scrumming, it's not for us. We don't really like that style, and the problem is, like, when you Binghamton, you got 5 guys come in, and your defensemen are out at the point. You don't want them to come in because everything's critical, and like I said, then you end up with the other team. You end up being disciplined, and the other team ends up getting a power play after initiating everything. It's hard to understand the thought process that what goes through some of these guys' minds. But like I said, we can only control what we can control, and then let's come out and play a skilled, fast, heavy game this weekend.
Coach, I think even against other sports, you hear about hockey. Oh, playoff hockey is a different breed. There's something different about playoff hockey. And I think fans know it when they see it, but maybe have a tough time putting their finger on exactly what's different. In your mind, what's the biggest difference between regular season hockey and playoff hockey?
Well, the big difference is everything's on the line. So, you're looking at, you got to win 2 games, and so you can't lose more than 1 game in a round until you get to the final. So everything is magnified. So, you need the players to step up and play their A game. And we've been trying to push for that, the last few weeks, and ramp things up, knowing that, you don't want to just lace up your skates on the first day of the playoffs and expect that you're going to be there. So we've been pushing to play a high speed and, a heavy game, and make sure everybody's on our A game. And that's, one of the things we're trying to do this weekend.
Crustacean Nation has brought it all season long, but the team is going to need every ounce of energy they can get from the fans to take us all the way in the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. Coach, what is your call to action to the fans to bring them out in droves during playoff season?
Well, the fans, the players feed off the noise and the crowd. That you can hear it. You can hear it on the hits, obviously on the goals, and certainly any scraps and saves. So it's something that it's hard to explain, the feeling that you get when you're playing in a big crowd, and it just helps the adrenaline, and so it's your extra player, and we want to get as many fans out as we can.
Crustacean Nation, you've been behind this team all season long, and with playoff hockey right around the corner, we know the energy in Athens Ford Arena is only going to rise. For the fans out there watching and listening, now's the time. Lock in your seats, grab your gear, and get ready to bring the noise. Payoff tickets are on sale now. Let's pack the tank and make Athens the loudest barn in the Fed. Get your tickets at rocklobstershockey.com or at classiccenter.evenue.net. Welcome back here to the Columbus Civic Center, where the Rock Lobsters are currently down 1-0. It wasn't that bad of a first period from Athens. It was that start in which it took them a while to get into the game. And within 38 seconds, the River Dragons found themselves up on the opening goal from Connor Lind as he beat Rosenzweig on the short side. Still a lot of hockey to be played in this one as the Rock Lobsters are making their way back out onto the ice, and we remain on Gallant and Milan watch. Gallant 1 goal away from the 40th of the year thus far, and Milan 1 point away from .100. We had Milan be the primary assist on a Kaysen Gallant goal last night. That would just be chef's kiss, exactly what the doctor ordered. If you'll recall, there was that late Michael Greco high-sticking penalty. And it was a contentious one as Hunter Alden was potentially slashed right before that call was made. Luckily, there's only 9 seconds left at the beginning of this second period on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill for the Rock Lobsters. Athens remains second in the FPHL in the penalty kill, killing off 86.8% penalties. And away we go in the second period. River Dragons take it back through Balkwill, who gets the return pass. Out to the right side. Sent in around by Underwood. Picked up by Jemayev. Takes a hit from Kolatarsi. Puck comes free. Rock Lobsters back at even strength. Shinkarik, clever pass into Michael Greco. Trying to show some flair against his former team. Greco on the forecheck from the blue line position. Gets the pass off to Glukaryov. Milan, great feed to Kolatarsi. Is able to avoid the shot block, but the shot was saved by Petizian. Whistled back in around by the Rock Lobsters. Petizian makes a play on it. Glukaryov on the forecheck. Robertson tries to kick it to himself. Takes a check in behind from Joel Texmo, the 21-year-old. First time we've said his name tonight. Rosenzweig out of the crease to play it. Off the skate, awkward. Still gets it toward Gallant. Here come the Rock Lobsters. Murray. That puck bouncing all around before it eventually fell to Storjahan. Underwood takes the push in behind from Murray. Hunter at the line, in the slot. Whiff on the shot. Here comes Johnson. Gallant is at the back door, but he finds Virgili. Virgili with a rifle of a pass through the skates of Gallant. Johnson. Puck in and around to the office. Kolatarsi with a short angle shot. Saved by Petizian. Don't think Petizian even knew much about the save that he made there. It's better here from Athens to start this second period. And Daniil Glukaryov hard to the net. Got himself there, but his shot's off the pads of Petizian. Kolatarsi takes one off the chest from Hunter. Thornton lets it run. 2-on-1, Milan, Glukaryov, back to Milan, and he scores! Point number 100 on the year for Super Milan! What a way to celebrate a century! Big time goal from Garrett Milan. That's goal number 37, point number 100 on the season. The 33-year-old continues to find new accolades for his career. And he seems set to complete the season with the FPHL scoring lead. Oh, a big hit on the near corner. The 288s, Weisblatt and Hunter. Now a stare down between them. Looks like Weisblatt's going to be sent to the box for that hit. It is getting a little feisty on the playground. Perhaps just the hand was up on the icing call there. My mistake. Things are getting really hot and heavy on the ice right now. We've got one of the two. We've got point number 100 for this man. Will we get goal number 40 for Gallant? Milan tried to feed the killer whale at the back door, but the pass never reached Orca. Hunter from his own blue line cuts the ice, tipped in by Moore. River Dragons offer the change. Milan gets his stick chopped in half. River Dragons ice the puck. We talked about how good the Rock Lobsters started this second period, and now they have something to show for it. Garrett Milan on the putback has evened this game up at 1 apiece. Alden on the face-off win. Murray, one-timer from the line. River Dragons trying to spin out of the pressure. Murray puts it back in through Smith into the corner. Alden, backhand banker to himself. Cut out by Storjahan. Ooh, one back by Stafora, but he and Smith wipe out at the line. Icing against the River Dragons again here. Four and a half minutes gone. Early goals in each period. 22 seconds into the game for the River Dragons through Lind. 2 minutes 44 into the second for Milan and the Rock Lobsters. I'll be honest, it feels like we've seen more energy, more resolve from this Rock Lobster team in the opening 4 minutes of this period than we have seen over the last 2 nights, the last 4 periods before that. Balkwell continues to try and challenge Virgili. Here's Gallant on the far side. Sandwiched in between 2 River Dragons. Puck comes loose, benefiting the River Dragons. Storjahan sends Wickline on a run. That one off the linesman, and Wickline very frustrated with the official there. Pushed ahead, Virgili towards Johnson, who sprawled for it, couldn't get there. Johnson lays a hit on Moore. A little bit of a balancing act there for Moore, but he's able to stay on his feet. Greco in and around, Gallant. Eases it over to Oja. Oja gets caught out by McDonald. Gallant. Beautiful pass. Falls for Glukarov. What a goal! The Russian rifle puts on the scope again and makes it 2-1 Athens. How about that pass? How about the vision from Kaysen Gallant to send Glukarov on his way? And that brings out the Boo Birds here in Columbus. Goal number 2 in quick succession for the Rock Lobsters. What an absolute beauty for Glukarov. Daniil, he only knows how to score dazzlers. Slehetka tries to ride the line with a pass, finds Loic Plouffe. Scott Doherty, feels like it's the first time we've seen him tonight. Shot from Slehetka on the one-timer, blocked out by Athens. Game continues to get more and more physical. Plouffe sends it in. Robertson trying to stuff it in past Bersani. Shinkarik Able to split to Milan with the pass from Robertson. Milan to Shinkarik, misses high. Weisblatt gets cut out in the corner. Jemayev backhand shoveler into the Athens zone, but Shinkarik trying to recycle it quickly. Doesn't like what's in front of him, goes back behind Rosenzweig's net. Kolatarsi tries to split the ice with a pass. It's all the way in behind for an icing. We go to a media timeout here. If you blink, you just might miss it. The Rock Lobsters now have a 2-1 lead thanks to goals from Milan and Glukaryov. More Rock Lobster hockey and hopefully a win coming up after this.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Honey, the sink is overflowing.
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
That feels more like the Rock Lobster team that we know and love to start this second period. Glukaryov right now given to Oja and Gallant, but I thought it was Gallant that sent Glukaryov on his way. Glukaryov before that had the assist for Milan's goal, which marked his 100th point of the year. Alden kicks it to Smith on the near side. Here comes Stafora now. Stafora snaps a shot into the glove of Petizian. Athens right now have already completed one of their watches. Milan with his 100th point, still looking for goal number 40 on the season for Casey Gallant. And you know what? You got to put Hunter Alden up there too. So close to scoring this year. Does so much of the little things for this team. He'll take the face-off here. Will tonight be the night? The last game of the regular season as Stafora out of the rip fires a shot high over Petizian. Alden like a bulldog on the forecheck. Stafora with another shot. Bounces right back to the left circle. Comes loose for Stafora again off the end boards hard. Alden. Smith gets pushed off of the puck, and the Rock Lobsters will go up a man. Everything coming up red and white right now, and the Rock Lobsters are heading to the Paloma Park power play. Believe it's going to be an interference call. Escorted to the box is Balkwell. First Paloma Park power play of the night here for the Rock Lobsters. And just as they were last night, they're going to try and earn free churros for Rock Lobster fans through the Fan Saves app. And the Rock Lobsters score on the power play. You score at Paloma Park. Milan, Virgili, Weisblatt, Gallant, and Shinkarik. Is now the time for Gallant. Keep a special eye on him, but here come the River Dragons. Rock Lobsters need to be defensively on their best behavior here. Jemayev off the board gets rocked by Weisblatt. Good work in the offensive zone for the River Dragons on this PK. PK ranks 4th in the FPHL for Columbus. Milan drops it to Weisblatt. Athens going to try and set up shop here. Virgili does just enough to save it at the line. Milan feeding Orca in behind the net. Weisblatt down to a knee. Shinkarik lets one loose. Gallant with the putback. Double save by Petesian. Kaysen Gallant with a deep breath. He might be thinking to himself, that was the moment, but there will be other opportunities to bite here for the Red Deer Rocket and the Rock Lobsters. 1:04 left on this Paloma Park power play. First of the night for Athens. No changes here on the personnel. Shinkarik back to Gallant. Gallant, backdoor feed. Weisblatt couldn't direct it. Off the side of the netting. There's a River Dragon pinning it to the ice. Columbus has it loose, and now they're moving east to west. Storjahan with a shot. Blocker save, Rosenzweig. And now there's a 4-on-2 the other direction. Shinkarik with a drop pass. No one there to receive. Gallant plays it out of the air. Gallant leaves it for Glukaryov. Less than 20 seconds to go on the power play. We're about to reach the halfway mark of regulation here. Shinkarik splits the ice. Malik Johnson, Stafora to his left. Stafora gets it back off the end boards. Both teams now back at even strength. Nice little dangle at the far side from Danny himself. Greco can't keep it in. Stafora. Good pin at the boards. Johnson in off the end boards. A little bit of a loose touch. Tries to win it back with his physicality. Kulatarsi deflected wide. Kulatarsi sends it back in off the far corner. McDonald rifles it in. Stopped by Rosenzweig. Glukaryov got the kick from Johnson. He's stopped at the red line. Johnson there to help sweep it in his direction. Let's go Dragons is the chant here at Columbus Civic Center. Playing in from behind for the first time in this two-game set. 2 quick goals from Milan and Glukaryov. Top line coming up big again for Athens. Alden wins it back, feeds Murray. Alden follows it up. Alden with the shot just wide. Alden still on the search for goal number 1. And the Rock Lobsters are going to be heading to the shorthand imminently, unless the River Dragons score here. Moore with a great chance, a bite of the cherry. Robertson and Murray getting tied up in behind. Two big boys getting tied up there on the far side. Robertson and McDonald. Looks like it's going to be Avery Smith who sits for 2. So right after that Rock Lobster power play, the River Dragons will be up a man after this commercial break. Stay tuned here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. If you haven't already, make sure you like the stream, hit subscribe to play a part in our world-famous chat, and ring the bell to stay notified of all future Rock Lobster content. Athens feeling a lot better in the second than they did in the first. More hockey coming up here after this. UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about my
future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Rock Lobsters will have to play down a man here as they're back on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Avery Smith will sit for 2 on a high sticking call. River Dragons win the draw. Thornton out to the right. Shot comes in. Off the end boards hard. Picked back up by the River Dragons on the near side. Wickline gets the feed back. Wickline regathers. Good passing here from Columbus. Save from Rosenzweig. Columbus with a self-inflicted wound. Send the pass out of their danger zone. Jemayev at the line. Moore on the left side. Puck pinballing around the near boards. And Athens gets it out. Not too far, though, as Lehecka will regroup. Jemayev almost got himself to the slot. Weisblatt, not enough gas in the tank to try and get himself on the break. Thornton. Sometimes the best pass is a shot. But loose puck for Virgili is sent down 200 feet. Underwood. Under him is Storjahan. Rides the line with a pass. McDonald with a tip to Hunter. Back to McDonald. Hunter, left circle. Centering feed on the back door. McDonald doesn't have it his way there. McDonald, edge of the right circle at the hash marks. Tight angle shot. We've got a whistle. And it's because Rosenzweig has the helmet come off there, having some technical issues. Storjahan wanted a call there. He's got a broken stick. I think he wanted a slashing call. Josh Rosenzweig, good game from him thus far. Back in the net after 3 straight starts from William Lavaliere. Milan with a face-off win. Kolatarsi slaps it out. That one just over the bar at Petesian. Rock Lobsters have 5 back out on the ice. Milan. Seems like every time I look up, he has 3 or 4 around him. Columbus will know well that he's the danger man. He made it a 1-1 game earlier on in this period. Shinkarik banks it off the back of Rosenzweig's net to himself. That one came off of Shinkarik. Not sure where it caught the captain. Pass to the line. Shot from the point. The youngster looking to try and beat Rosenzweig. Loic Plouffe. Couple of pokes in at Rosie that the Rock Lobsters take exception to. It has been a very, very physical game, but very surprised as well that we haven't seen anyone drop the claws just yet here. No matter what level you look at this beautiful game. You have to get excited when you see two programs from the same state in the last game of the regular season about to go up against one another in the first round of the playoffs. You're going to get a good view on the Athens Rock Lobster Network, but you're going to want to make sure you get your tickets while they're still available. Sleheka plays it down like a pop fly, sticks it back in. Rosenzweig helps it to Oja. Rock Lobsters with a giveaway. It's a knee-on-knee hit there. It's going to go down as a trip. Greco will sit for the infraction on Wickline. Rock Lobsters with the lead thanks to their work here in the middle frame. But they're not doing themselves many favors with the penalties. They've done well on the PK thus far tonight. This is power play number 3 for the River Dragons. Rock Lobsters repeat offenders on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Blocker save on the shot by Moore. Weisblatt, good stick lift, but Moore able to stiff arm him away. Moore dancing once again. Sent away by Shinkarik. McDonald around Petesian, passing out to the left side. Underwood around the net, gets the pass off to Hunter. Oh, what a save by Rosenzweig. Snatches that one like a fruit fly out of the air, and it was buzzing all around him after the quick deflection before it reached his net. Rosenzweig and the Rock Lobsters keep it 2-1 for now. Still more power play from Columbus coming up after this.
Since we opened in 1968, we've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. Back to the action on the ice here at Columbus Civic Center. Rock Lobsters trying to hold on with both claws to this 2-1 lead, but the River Dragons back on the power play. River Dragons power play, just like the Rock Lobsters, middle of the pack in the FPHL this year, and I think it's surprising for both teams considering the amount of firepower they have on their special teams. Sleheka gets caught up at the far boards. Virgili can't get it out, though. Malik Johnson will be able to. Who sends Virgili? He's at a close angle, though. Just tries to float it over the left shoulder of Petesian. Petesian does enough. Malik Johnson with a heavy check off the puck. Is that one going to be another call against the Rock Lobsters? Johnson will sit for 2 with a call for elbowing. And now this River Dragons team will have some more open ice to play with, as the Rock Lobsters will have 2 sitting in the box for this 2-man advantage for the River Dragons. Milan, Robertson, and Shinkarik are your trio here in the 5-on-3. Underwood out of the draw. McDonald back to Underwood, 2 veterans of this team. Underwood fakes the one-timer, finds more on the goal line. Edge of the left circle, Underwood feeds McDonald to the right side. Back to Storjahan, gets blocked from a tight shot. Underwood with a one-timer. Rosenzweig moving laterally, able to make the save on time. Moore just tries to stuff it in at the back door. Storjahan didn't get enough on it. Here he is again. Looking for more this time on the other side. Doesn't leave the zone. Saved by Underwood. Moore exchanging places with his Columbus captain. Rosenzweig with a save of the high slot shot from Moore. Greco back out on the ice here. One time, puck loose out in front. Greco able to help it towards Milan. Milan shovels it in past the net of Petizian. Clever little move on the River Dragons logo. Storjahan again. Good poke check from the Rock Lobsters, but it comes free. Hunter passing back out to the right side. Wickline steps on the brakes. Sleheka at the point. Back to Wickline. Good passing in and around, but the Rock Lobsters able to get it away from the crease, but not out of the zone. Murray. Kolatarsi tries to turn with the clearance. Hunter off the shin of Kolatarsi. That couldn't have felt good. One timer from the right side. Missed by a good margin. Rock Lobsters back to skating with 5. Glukarioff. Rock Lobsters able to kill the 5-on-3. Glukarioff through the skates of Virgili, pops out for Johnson, who's fresh out the box. Greco. Johnson, puck goes through Glukarioff. Knuckleballing over the bar of Rosenzweig. Sleheka's pass doesn't go much of anywhere. Glukarioff. Backhand flipper. Johnson pokes it ahead. Alden will chase. Lays a heavy hit in the end boards on Sleheka. Reaching the final minute here. Fake slapper there. Shot then comes off a Rosenzweig by Thornton. 58.6 remains as Rosenzweig has had a tremendous period here in this middle frame for the Rock Lobsters. 10 shots on net for the River Dragons in this period. And Rosenzweig has stopped all of them. Rosenzweig not a stranger to tremendous performances here at Columbus Civic Center. I hear what you're saying, Eddie, but you are correct. Round 1, game 1 is the game for the Aikens Ford Arena game between the Rock Lobsters and the River Dragons. If you want to get to that Friday game, make sure you buy on the eVenue site what says round 1, game 1. I appreciate your concern and get where you're coming from, but want to make sure you buy tickets for the right game, because this one is heating up. This series between these two teams. Milan tried to fire a shot, saved by Petizian. Gallant was hot towards the crease. One time from the line by Virgili. Milan From behind the net, Gallant to the point for Shinkarek. Looking for a tip out in front. Gallant with a centering pain! Oh, Virgili, how sweet it is! Cayson Gallant, who's been on the hunt tonight for goal number 40, has been a tremendous playmaker in this game. That's his second primary assist, coming on consecutive goals for the Rock Lobsters. 3 goals for Athens, all coming in the second period. Milan, Glukaryov, and Virgili. Carter Shinkarek will also get an assist on that Virgili goal as the two besties combine. Johnson, clever feed out to the front. Glukaryov looking for his second. He's not going to find it. It's going to be interesting here because the puck was sent out of the rink by a River Dragon. The Rock Lobsters asking for a delay of game right before the period ends, and then more pushing and shoving between these two teams. It has been an interesting game thus far between these two Georgia programs that do not like each other very much. Somehow, the referees have been able to keep players from these two teams from fighting. Will they be able to continue that trend into the third? More in a very animated conversation. I'm not sure if he's talking to the official there, if he's talking to someone through the official. He gets ushered away by Balkwill, who tries to assure him that the smarter move is to walk away. Malik Johnson, meanwhile, as he goes off into the corner, letting these fans know what he thinks about it. Well, Rock Lobster fans, it was a good period for the team that you love oh so dearly, but let's see what's going around the FPHL right now. Right now, in the second period, the Danbury Hat Tricks have a 2-0 lead against the Watertown Wolves. Binghamton Black Bears up big 6-1 against the already eliminated Venom HC. Another game between two in-state programs. Port Huron Prowlers against the Motor City Rockers. They share the state of Michigan, and the Prowlers up against them once again 3-2. The Blue Ridge Bobcats up 2-0 against the Dashers. HC was really hoping for a Dashers win in the last game of the regular season. Could still happen. The Moccasins gave Carolina a game last night. It ended up in the shootout that Carolina was able to secure the top spot. Looks like the Moccasins are rolling over now. They're down 4-0 in the first period. And then the Baton Rouge Zydeco trying to send themselves into the playoffs on a high note, up 1-0 against the Mississippi Seawolves. Well, Rock Lobsters with a 3-1 lead here against the Columbus River Dragons. 3 unanswered goals by the Rock Lobsters. Milan for his 100th point of the year. Glukaryov had the primary assist on that one before he would score one of his own. A beauty on the break as he was sent with a lofted pass by Gallant. Glukaryov converts on it, the Russian rifle, to make it 2-1. Then Philip Virgili, with 17 seconds left in the second period, is able to convert on a Cayson Gallant pass. Gallant on the hunt for 40 goals, but he's been a playmaker in this one. Rock Lobsters going into the third period with a 3-1 lead, and the person who made it 3-1 was the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, Philip Virgili, and I had a chance to talk with him just a few days ago. Here is our Lobster Tales segment with Philip Virgili. How's it going, Crustacean Nation? Welcome back to Lobster Tales here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. It's the go-to way that fans of the team can learn more about their favorite Rock Lobster players. This is Voice of the Rock Lobsters, Maxine Rad, and I'm joined today by everyone's favorite Swede, Philip Virgili. Phil, thanks for joining me. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. It's been such a long time since we talked about how things are going. And the last time we did something like this, it was before we were even playing home games. Despite the fact the season was already ongoing, it feels like we couldn't have known what we were in store for this season, whether it be the success of the team, the opening of the arena, the ferocity of the fans. Have there been aspects of this first season that have surprised you?
Yeah, definitely. So kind of like what you mentioned, we kind of uncharted waters with everything, going on with the rink and all that kind of stuff. And, playing down south is something new for me. And I think for a lot of guys there as well. And, hockey, maybe it hasn't been the biggest here, but it's been awesome to kind of see the fan interaction that we've gotten here and, seeing how hockey's growing here and, playing in front of all these fans here at this beautiful rink. It's been absolutely amazing and kind of, open up your eyes for how much you actually love hockey and, the benefits that come with it.
There's no native Georgians on this team, so everyone is far from home. But of course, it's different for you and Oja and Danny and Zinni, where home is over an ocean away. I know it's been such a short period of time here, but with your home of Malmo, Sweden, so far away, has Athens become a home away from home at all?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm always going to be firm in the way that it all depends on the people that you have around you. I've been blessed to have all these great teammates and, my wife also being a pillar for me here. There's not much to dislike about Athens, let's just put it that way. It makes it a lot easier to kind of feel at home when you got, the sunny weather, the awesome fans, the beautiful rink. It's been a very easy transaction to move from, the Quad Cities to down south here in Athens.
There's been some great memories already for you here as well, especially looking back in January, where you registered the first ever hat trick in franchise history, and you did it on our home ice. What was it like to have that kind of individual performance and to do so in front of our own fans?
Absolutely electric. I think there's a lot of words to kind of describe that, but, I have to be kind of humble and give credit where credit's due. And I mean, especially, I've been playing with Case and Glam the entire season here, and they work hard, they play hard, they give me the puck in good situations. So, like I said, give credit where credit is due. They give you easy chances, and but overall, an incredible feeling. I mean, like especially at home, right? You wouldn't want to score a hat trick anywhere else. Absolutely awesome. Yeah.
You've already brought it up. It feels like you can't talk about your season without talking about Kaysen Gallant, and the same is the truth for Kaysen as well. I remember us talking about your chemistry with Gally. That was back in October. Fast forward 6 months and we're still talking about it. What do you think makes your partnership so effective?
I think him and I just kind of clicked right away. It's easy to play with a guy who works his, off. Always wants the puck. Always, is quick on his feet, and it's nice to kind of let them do the little dirty work, and then you kind of find areas where they can find you. And that's why I think also, giving credit to Mallow now, who's joined our line, just a working horse. So I think that's why all us three kind of work well together, is that we kind of feed off each other's strengths, which is kind of, open up our goal scoring opportunities. But I wouldn't have accomplished the things I've done this season without these guys next to me. So credit to those two.
You've also been so lethal on the shootout this season. You've been one of Coach Marty's go-to guys in the shootout. What do you think it is about your profile that makes you good in the shootout? Is it more to do with your skill, or is it more of a mentality thing?
It's funny because, in the past, I haven't had a great track record in the shootouts. I've always watched a lot of YouTube videos and see all these guys, like Barkov or Kucherov do these funny little skill shootouts, and I try them myself and they don't go in. But I've kind of, dialed in a couple moves here and there and kind of gone with it, and it's worked out this season so far. And, I think once you kind of get the first one of the year, you become a lot more confident when you go in for the next one. So I think the confidence is definitely the key in going into the shootouts.
You've just celebrated your 27th birthday on March 31st, and you've celebrated a lot of different birthdays while playing hockey. Was there anything special about birthday number 27?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're down there in beautiful Athens. No, I got to celebrate with all my teammates and all my brothers here, and made a made it very fun. You know, it's I remember my birthday last year. There was a bunch of tornadoes and all that kind of stuff, so I had to sit inside the entire day. So it's a nice little change through that. Yeah.
Interesting to talk about something away from hockey, but you're such a well-rounded guy, well-educated guy. You've still got a good amount of playing time left, but what do you think life after playing looks like for you?
It's a great question. I mean, it's a lot of different career paths, I think, that I kind of can think of. Right now, I think one for me is, I'm trying to get my license in financial advising. I have a awesome, support from back in the Quad Cities. Her name is Dawn. I've been kind of taking me under her wing in regard to that, and that would be a potential for me after I'm done playing to kind of settle down there and see where life with me and my wife and the dog kind of takes us. It's not something that we really haven't talked much about so far because once you're in hockey season, you're kind of dialed in on that. But only good things to think of, if that makes any sense.
Oh, 100%. Big shout out to Dawn as well.
Definitely.
Carter Shinkarik and you were talking a couple of weeks ago about the Four Nations tournament and how you must have felt kind of left out being the only Swedish guy on the team. But of course, that has changed since then. It's not like you're someone who's lacking friends. Everyone on the team loves you. But was there a special feeling in Adam Oja, a fellow countryman, coming into the team as well?
I mean, of course, it's every time you get a person from your home country, you can speak your native tongue and all that kind of stuff. It just makes it feel a lot more like home. And I think that I'm kind of speaking for him as well, and he feels the same way. I understand that this is, home away from home, but like I said, it's always nice when you can kind of relate on the cultural things from Sweden and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely made a big difference. And unfortunately, we couldn't show it off better in the Four Nations, but maybe next time.
Nah, I was cheering for Sweden as well. You know that, but
that's fine.
Phil, I'm coming off my own great milestone in my life. I think the greatest milestone in my life. I've proposed to my girlfriend Paige, and now we're engaged to be married. You're kind of known as the wife guy on the team. What advice can you give me on being married?
Do whatever she says. No, I think I've come to learn that happy wife, happy life is truly a statement. But I think when you've met the partner that you know is the one, it's easy to kind of work well together. And I can only give credit to my wife. I don't think it's super easy being a hockey wife. We're off a long. We're gone for sometimes multiple days, and they're alone and all that kind of stuff. But they know the responsibilities that you have as a player and all that kind of stuff, so they feed them well to it. And I think it's also very nice for the guys around here. She'll bake them cinnamon rolls and sourdough and all that kind of stuff. So I think they're reaping the benefits as well as of me having a wife. But no, yeah, just take care of her and listen to her. I think that's probably the best tip that I can give.
Is there someone on the team that, or who on the team do you think will make maybe the best husband for a lucky lady someday?
I think there's gonna be a lot of not angry guys, but disappointed guys that I'm not mentioning them. But I think Orca Weisblad is just a very respectful guy, especially when it comes to the ladies. He's shown me that. So if there's ever the question, who would you let date your daughter? I think Orca Weisblad is definitely up in the top there.
He's such a good kid, man. I couldn't agree more with you.
Definitely is.
On the other side of things, who on the team do you think maybe wouldn't be cut out for marriage?
Rosie. Not even a question. Not even a question. Yeah.
Well, Phil, I want to play a little game, man. We're going to call it Culture Clash. I'm going to give you two words of a similar nature, one Swedish and one American. You're going to tell me which one you prefer. I think you're probably going to go Swedish nearly every time. But
I love it. Go ahead.
And if it doesn't make sense now, I'm sure it will in a second. You ready, Phil?
Go ahead.
First question, I think this is a good one because you had the fan favorite burger at Farm Burger. Swedish meatballs or a cheeseburger?
Oh, that's so tough. You can never go wrong with a cheeseburger, but I have to go with the Swedish meatballs, especially if they're done right.
Is there any place in Georgia or in Athens that you can get a good, well-done Swedish meatball besides IKEA?
My apartment.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. We're coming over to Phyllis.
I haven't even checked it out yet or even seen if there's a possibility. I know that certain places have, like they have a Swedish bakery or something like that, but I'm so stuck into, the American culture and the food here right now that I haven't even thought about it. Yeah.
Well, they're both coming up soon, Phil. Next up, patriotic holidays, Midsummer or 4th of July?
Midsummer. Not even close. Not even close. I think Midsummer is just a holiday that anyone, whether you're from Sweden, the US, Canada, or anything like that, it's just one of those that you have to experience. It's just such a blast, and you hang out with your friends and tend to get a little tipsy, but it makes the night a little more fun. So definitely Midsummer.
What about the best way to relax and recover, sauna or hot tub?
Hot tub. Absolutely. Yeah. I like a sauna, but you can never go wrong with just being able to relax in a hot tub after a hard workout.
A couple flavors that you can't get anywhere else, lingonberry jam or peanut butter?
Lingonberry jam. Absolutely. And it's funny because it kind of ties into the meatballs, that can make or break a dish. So I had to bring that back home from Sweden. I had to bring it into the US here so I can enjoy my meatballs whenever I eat them.
Were you perplexed by peanut butter at all? Because anytime I talk about peanut butter with Europeans, they don't get it. They're like, I don't see the idea.
It's just not as big of a thing as it is here in the US. I was thinking back to my college days. I was so surprised when I was sitting in class and this guy was sitting with a peanut butter jar and just eating straight out of it. And I remember, what is going on right now? But having been here for 8-something years now, you can never go wrong with like a peanut butter jelly. So I kind of get the hype right now. Yeah.
What about pop culture icons, ABBA or Taylor Swift?
Oh, not even close. ABBA. Any day. Any day.
And then a little bit of retail, IKEA or Target?
Oof. IKEA. And I know that a lot of people have some struggles building those things, which me too, but I still love it. Especially their food, the little food marketplace, whatever you want to call it. Can never go wrong with buying, a hot dog for $1 and an ice cream for 50 cents. Like, the fact that that's still a thing is what makes IKEA.
I heard the dumbest joke today was, did you hear that the CEO of IKEA was just elected the Prime Minister of Sweden? Did you hear about this?
No. No.
He's taken quite a bit of time to assemble his cabinet.
Oh, God. You thought about that one for a while, didn't you?
No, I swear I heard it today. It was a dumb joke that I heard. Yeah. I was like, it seems weird after I wrote down all these questions that was a joke that I heard this morning. But
honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, seeing how big IKEA is.
Phil, last one here, and it's the easiest one for me to answer. 0-degree winters or 100-degree summers?
0-degree winters.
Wow,
dude. Yeah,
I don't know how you do that.
You want to know why? Because I'm a skiing over like summertime, whatever you want to call it, that question. I love snowboarding and skiing and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's easier for me to kind of be in that climate versus, melting on a sunshare somewhere.
Well, Phil, we're going to finish off this interview with one of our news segments, Question a Crustacean. It's where Crustacean Nation themselves can ask questions of their favorite rock lobster players. If you're watching at home or listening in the car and you would like to ask your own questions for future interviews, join the Athens Rock Lobsters fan page on Facebook and look out for posts from me, Matt Rat. Our first questions come from our technical extraordinaire here on the show, Stephen Turner. He says, as an unbiased Swede, who really has the best hockey players out of U.S. or Canada?
It's going to piss a lot of people off. I have to say Canada. I have to. They've just produced such talent throughout all the years. And it's tough to, when you have players like Nathan McKinnon and Connor McDavid, to say anything else.
Well, after the Four Nations, too, that pretty much proved it, right?
Especially, yes. That's fair.
He also wonders which U.S. or Canadian rock lobster duo would be the best duet act for a karaoke night.
Oh, yeah, that's a great question.
Are there any guys that sing on the team?
You know what? Yes, I already have one guy in mind, and that's Joey Colatarsi. He's pretty good at doing the Panic at the Disco covers. But I'm trying to think of another. You know what? Throw in Matt Garcia. I think those two would be a pretty lethal duo up on the mic.
A little Florida-Illinois combination there. I like it.
Definitely, yeah.
Ty Benton wants to know, what arena would you most like to play in?
That stretches to any NHL and all that kind of stuff?
In the world. I mean, even if there's any back home in Sweden.
I think, the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think that's just with the history and all that kind of stuff behind it. I think, that would be an electric place to play at.
This one's in...
Hate to cut off our Lobster Tales interview with Philip Virgili short, but of course you can capture all of those on our archive here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Simply go to our page and look at playlists, Lobster Tales. There might be some old ones you don't even remember. Go ahead and check all of those out now. Here it is, the playoff bracket for the FPHL Commissioner's Cup playoffs. And, of course, as you can see, the Rock Lobsters are set to do battle with a team that they're battling tonight. Chase for the Commissioner's Cup is soon to be on. Rock Lobsters going up against the Columbus River Dragons in the first round of the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. Make sure you take out your phone now and scan the QR code on your screen to secure your playoff tickets today. Let's pack the tank, make some playoff magic, because in the postseason, teams are going to learn to hashtag Fear the Claw. Crustacean Nation, it's also time to gear up before playoff season. Our Spring and a Savings sale is happening now through Sunday evening with 25 to 30% off select items online at shop.rocklobstershockey.com. Hoodies, hats, and more while supplies last. You can go ahead and get some of those red, navy, and white game replica jerseys that are officially restocked as well. Those don't last long, so get yours now. 20 minutes on the clock. It looks like there's going to be penalties for both Troy Murray and Kyle Moore for actions at the end of that second period. So we'll start skating 4 apiece, and Milan will win the draw. A very, very good middle frame for the Rock Lobsters. They scored 3 goals in the middle period. Milan for his 100th point of the year. Offside there called against the River Dragons. Milan for his 100th point of the year to tie the game up at 1 apiece, and then followed up by goals by Danilo Glukariov and Philip Virgili, the European Union. 15 seconds gone. Another clean face-off win from Garrett Milan. Glukariov. Shinkarik whistles a pass that is off the body of Milan. Fell down for the River Dragons, however. Lind, he scored from this position earlier. Pinballs around the cage of Rosenzweig. Lind picks it back up on the far side. Tries to breeze past Riley Robertson. Easier said than done. Shinkarik flips it between the legs. On the near side. Picked up by former Baton Rouge Zydeco, Brody Thornton. Tries to slap it away from Milan, but Milan able to turn out of the pressure. Milan puts it into the next gear. Slaps a shot into the chest of Petizian. Austin Doe trying to poke it ahead. Doesn't get past Oja. Gallant in and around for Colatarsi. Doesn't get there first, but the snap shot from the far side from Jemayev is into the glove of Rosenzweig. We started with 2 minutes of 4-on-4, have 41 seconds left. Columbus is a team that's adept to come back from a scoreline like this. Let's see if they're able to do so. Jemayev with Philip Virgilian behind him. Trying to challenge Rosenzweig from the far board, something that Columbus has done a lot in this game. Colatarsi. Philip Virgili glides through the neutral zone. Virgili towards Gallant, and he scores! It's 40! It's 40 for Gallant! He becomes the first player in the FPHL this year to score 40 goals. Will he end the season today as the only FPHL player to do it this season? And it came on the 4-on-4, the setup from the Swede Virgili and Cayson Gallant with his 40th goal coming as a rookie. Will he go down as the FPHL Rookie of the Year? If not, who will? Alden almost won that back off the youngster Plouffe. Loic Plouffe, though, now showing some better stick handling here. Centering pass. River Dragons looking for an answer to try and make it a 2-goal game once again. But the Rock Lobsters able to stomp that fire out. One back by Smith. Smith over the point. Shot ends up more of a centering pass towards Alden. Alden, he's the last box to check here for the Rock Lobsters. Millan had .100. Gallant has goal 40. Will Alden score his first professional goal tonight? Glukarioff wins the puck back in the offensive zone. Pops up ahead of Kyle Powell. I thought we might see a rematch between Powell and Doherty. I don't think that fight ended the way really either player wanted it to. Shinkarik picks it up on the red line. Millan off the end boards, chases it himself, poked away by Lind. Banker off the near side boards. Doherty doesn't get there in time. Bersani trying to sell a high stick there. Referees don't bite. Virgili pokes it off the glass, falls for the Swede. Sends it to the slot, no Rock Lobster there, and here come the River Dragons the other direction. Good feed. Pass to pass in the slot. Bersani misses wide. Powell. Virgili. Pinned to the glass by Bersani. Puck still comes free for Shinkarik. Here comes Cayson Gallant, who scored his 40th of the season and make it a 4-1 game, but his exchange with Malik Johnson doesn't go to plan. River Dragons find the pass on the far side. Shot came in, but wide to the right from Austin Doe. Whistled back in around off the end boards. Cody Wickline can't get past Robertson. Puck comes loose for Doe. Feed to the point. Rides the line with a pass. Underwood tries to help it off the end boards toward Wickline. Picked back up by Doe once again in the far corner. Murray will pin him there. River Dragons can't keep it in. Malik Johnson gets on his horse, but Underwood gets there first. Balkwell. Alden. Robertson. Off of Johnson's stick towards Alden, but Johnson took the early step and gets whistled for offsides. Of course, it was a much more, let's say, crucial game last night. The Rock Lobsters had to win to keep their hopes for potentially getting over the Carolina Thunderbirds for the top spot in the Continental Division alive. But as of right now, this regular season is ending to the Rock Lobsters' plan before they go into the playoff series with this very team they're playing against right now. Not only did they want to win and tie this series up at 1 apiece after the performance last night, but they wanted to get the milestones for their players. Millan with point number 100, Gallant with goal number 40. It seems likely that those two will end the season atop their leaderboards. Millan for scoring and Gallant for goals. We're going to immediate timeout here. Cayson Gallant with goal number 40 has made this a 4-1 game. More hockey coming up here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network after this. farm burger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
I want to thank all of you again for tuning in, not only tonight, but of course all regular season long. It's been so fun to have you here, to welcome our franchise with open arms, and of course, make life just a lot easier for me as your voice of this team. Thank you. I love you. Can't wait to do it some more here in the playoffs coming up. Good defensive work there from Alden. Almost sprung Smith, and pardon me, it was actually Stafora. Alden plays it with a skate, pops up on him, wins it back. Good forechecking from this third line for Athens. Looks like the Rock Lobsters are going up a man here. Michael Greco challenging a River Dragon right in front of the bench. Alden telling everyone to calm down. He's the one that took the brunt of that penalty from Columbus. Rock Lobsters heading back to the Paloma Park power play. And while it's been a great night for the Rock Lobsters tonight, they are still awaiting their first power play goal of this contest. Two minutes for roughing, courtesy of Ryan Hunter. Sends the Rock Lobsters back on the power play with another chance to earn free churros for 24 hours through the Fan Saves app at Paloma Park. Kason Gallant right in the goal line. Passes to Shinkarik at the blue. Weisblatt on the far side. Eases himself into the right circle. Shinkarik one time's a pass towards Gallant. Gallant shovels it in. Virgili. Awkward bounce off the corner. Virgili didn't expect it. Columbus sent it 200 feet down the ice. Just eases out of the zone. Wickline trying to stick like glue on Virgili. Gallant's pass gets cut out. Rock Lobsters finding it very difficult to set up shop on this third period power play. But Kason Gallant with speed. Right circle U-turn. Can't get it to Virgili, but the puck stays with him. Behind him is Shinkarik. Milan off the far board. Shinkarik at the line. Back to Milan. Gallant wants it. Milan didn't see him. Virgili from the goal line. Back to the blue. Gallant with a one-timer. Unable to get the kind of ferocity he wanted to on that shot. Last 30 seconds. Rock Lobsters will go to the second unit. Nashville Preds asks, is Garcia still on the team? Yes, he is. Healthy scratch tonight. Kukaryov dangles a River Dragon to the right. Alden gets it into the zone. Good PK there from the River Dragons. As the Rock Lobsters, I'm sure, are wanting to put a big number on the board. Not going to be able to continue to add on to that on that Paloma Park power play. Loic Plouffe out to the near side. More. That one deflected off of Plouffe, but saved by the pads of the Rose. Nice play with a stick there by Smith, but he couldn't pull it off twice. Loic Plouffe over the center of the point, taken away by Glukaryov. That one popped up there on Petizian. He has it in the glove. Will stop the clock with 11:16 to go in regulation. This game, I have to say, is really sped by here. It's been a extremely quick contest between these two teams thus far. And I think the interesting thing about that is we've seen a good amount of extracurriculars between these two teams. I think we're bound to see more as this period goes on. Murray let it run. He's getting deployed here as a forward here, Murray. Centering pass. One timed at the line. Shot goes over the bar and, as a matter of fact, into the netting. Rock Lobsters, if this result holds, will end the season with a 7-5 record against their in-state rival. Clean face-off win by Smith. Awkward bounce off the glass. Falls to Smith. Murray to the right for Stafora. Gets it taken away from him. Wickline in front of the half wall. Drops a pass back. Gets it right back in return. Offside there, I believe, called on Storjahan. Rock Lobsters with a 4-1 lead here. And look, if you're a fan of the Rock Lobsters this year, I'm sure you know the Columbus River Dragons, a very, very good team. But what you might not know is just how good they were over the past few seasons. They were the FPHL Commissioners Cup champions in 2021. Last year, they were the FPHL regular season champions, ended up falling to the Thunderbirds in the semifinals in 3 games. Milan with the face-off win, sent up by Powell, didn't reach Glukaryov. Doherty with a backhander into the corner. Shinkarig beats Bersani in the foot race. Doherty jousting with Powell there a little bit, wondering if we'll see a rematch here with those two on the ice. Really clever feed from Glukaryov. Didn't initially make it to Milan. His shot takes a deflection. Interesting bat out of midair, but hugging that near side post was Petizian. Garrett Milan continues to impress with Milan magic. Very, very excited to see as well a player of Milan's caliber do it at the highest level of this league as we go into the Commissioners Cup playoffs. He seems like a man that's destined for the magical moments. Hopefully we see more from Garrett this next week in the playoff series, the opening round between the Rock Lobsters and the River Dragons. Whistle goes for a hand pass. And with exactly half of this third period to go, we go back to a commercial break. Stay tuned with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network.
At Athens Stonecasting, Don Hill oversees acres of sculptures poured from thousands of molds, endless possibilities for neighbors who envision unique gardens. Craig Meeks at First American Bank and Trust caught that vision. Together, Don and Craig create solutions that keep the business teeming with new gifts for the garden. Vision. It's one of the core convictions we live by. Learn more about what we stand for at firstamericanishere.com. First American Bank and Trust.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at Stanfield Air.
10 minutes remaining in this game. Rock Lobsters up big 4-1. Oja out of the face-off win by his fellow countryman Philip Virgili. Oja back into the lineup tonight after being a healthy scratch last night. Virgili, 2-on-1 developing. Johnson can't return it to the Swede. And now opportunity emerges for the River Dragons. Hunter on the hunt for that top shelf, and he gets a goal back for Columbus to make it a 2-goal deficit. Ryan Hunter leads this River Dragons team in goals, and that is his team-leading 26th goal of the campaign. Couple of extra steps inside on the far side. Weisblatt and Jemayev. Milan with another face-off win. He's done extremely well in that category tonight. A lot of physicality there between Jemayev and Weisblatt. It's continued here in open play out of the face-off. Milan spins out of the check from Jemayev, who takes a tumble. He's helped in his trip to the ice by Powell. Rosenzweig lets it run out of the quarter. Shinkarik picks it up from behind the netting. Milan fires a shot. It's hard off the stick of Moore. Milan with a couple pushes in at Moore. Milan wants a piece of Moore. I like this. Rock Lobsters in a good position to win this game, and they want to tell this River Dragons team that they're not going to back down from anything. It wasn't Moore, it was Bersani, and Bersani continues to try and just annoy this Rock Lobsters team. Look, Powell and Doherty here. And now Powell will go and sit. Columbus getting under the skin of this Rock Lobsters team. And you get it, but I don't think it's the right time there from Athens. You let up that goal to make it a 2-goal game, and then you're going to send, I believe, the River Dragons to a power play here. Let's see how the referees have this spotted. Face-off will happen to the right of Rosenzweig. There's offsetting penalties, I believe, between Milan and Bersani. And Kyle Powell will sit for 2 minutes for roughing. A 4-2 game. Columbus and their fans not giving up on this one yet. Looks like it's Stafora in the box. Powell sitting for an unsportsmanlike conduct. I think they realized they got the wrong guy in Stafora and sent him back home on the bench. That was weird. Milan and Powell will sit for unsportsmanlike conduct, as will Hunter Bersani. So the River Dragons will have a 2-minute power play out of this. Rock Lobster face-off win. Shinkarik sends it all the way down. Kyle Moore drops the pass back. Justin McDonald is there. Shot comes in from the line. May have come from in front of the line by Moore. There's a chance here for Columbus fans to have just an all-around good day here. Right out in front of the Columbus Civic Center is the fair. Might be a good way to spend your Saturday, going on a tilt-a-whirl. Is there going to be a tilt-a-whirl this game? Good shot in from the left side. Didn't reach Rosenzweig. Passing from the far side, McDonald collects off the near boards. Moore from the point to the left. Pad save from Rosenzweig. Hunter wants another bite. Tried to feed McDonald at the front door. Kyle Moore, 2 goals last night. Thornton's centering feed goes off the skate of Weisblatt and into the neutral zone. Ahead for Hunter. Takes a big hit in behind from Greco. And one of the panes from the glass over the end boards has just fallen onto the ice. Gives a chance for members of these two teams to continue and exchange pleasantries with one another. Look, Crustacean Nation, if this hasn't been an advertisement enough this game, let me tell you about playoff tickets. It's time to get ready for the chase for the Commissioner's Cup. Your Athens Rock Lobsters are going to try and claw their way to glory in their inaugural season. Be part of the madness this postseason. Turn the tank into the loudest barn in the league. Don't miss your chance to witness every hit, goal, and game-winning moment as the Rock Lobsters battle for the ultimate prize. Postseason tickets are on sale now. Grab yours at rocklobstershockey.com or scan the QR code. Go ahead, take out your phone and scan it. Let's pack the tank and make some playoff magic, because in the offseason, teams are going to learn to hashtag fear the claw. Of course, 2 games potentially at Aikens Ford Arena. 1 definitely that'll happen Friday at 7:05. If necessary, Game 3 will be played between Athens and Columbus. It has been a bad night to be a pane of glass here at the Columbus Civic Center over the last 2 nights. They're going to try and fix that right now. After that, 40 more seconds of River Dragon power play. We're going to go to a commercial break. But still, 7 minutes and 33 seconds remaining in this game.
Honey, the sink is overflowing.
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
When you're the leader in disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro. Like it never even happened.
This thing on? Perfect.
UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
When you're the Athens Rock Lobsters' biggest enforcer, life can get pretty messy. That's when Justin Portillo calls Crawford Laundry. Justin Portillo only trusts Crawford Laundry to get his toughest game day stains out in plenty of time for the next one.
I'm not even sure what just happened. I've never seen a penalty being taken by a team while repairs are being done on the rink, but Riley Robertson was just put in the box, or is in the midst of being put in the box. Well, Riley Robertson has just been sent back to the locker room. Hopefully we have an answer on that. For those of you just joining us here, a 4-2 game as the maintenance staff is here on the ice trying to fix a pane of glass in the inboards behind Josh Rosenzweig's net. 22 seconds into the game, the River Dragons took the lead. But 3 goals from Athens in the second period through Milan for his 100th point of the year. Lukaryov, Philip Virgili put Athens up 3-1, and then about 2 minutes into the third, Casey Gallant would score his 40th of the year. But a couple late penalties being taken by Athens after Columbus made it a 2-goal game on a notch from Ryan Hunter. Let's see if we have an update on what this penalty call is. Nothing yet on what happened for Riley Robertson. And it looks like Jemayev has just been sent off the ice as well. And I don't know why he's left either. This is a fun end to the regular season, eh? Especially when you think about what's to come. At least 2 playoff games to be played between these two teams that share the Peach State. It has been a tremendous start to a rivalry between these two Georgia programs. If this result stays, the Rock Lobsters will have a 7-5 advantage. Riley Robertson giving him misconduct for unsportsmanlike conduct. Same for Alexander Jemayev. This game really lumbering to its end here, and they're really struggling to try and fix this pain. It's one of these, I can't think of a better word to call it. It's a steel piece on the rink that affixes the glass. Get a better view of it there. As you can see, there's been quite a bit of time since they started this work here, and doesn't look any closer to being done. I guess I don't know the answer to this question. What happens if you can't fix it? Well, hoping to have more hockey here soon. There's 7 minutes and 33 seconds left in regulation. Right now the River Dragons have 40 seconds left on power play. I'm sure they would like to play that time, but, well, it remains to be seen. Stick with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Perhaps we'll have more hockey after this. Stick with us and find out.
At Athens Stonecasting, Don Hill oversees acres of sculptures poured from thousands of molds, endless possibilities for neighbors who envision unique gardens. Craig Meeks at First American Bank and Trust caught that vision. Together, Don and Craig create solutions that keep the business teeming with new gifts for the garden. Vision. It's one of the core convictions we live by. Learn more about what we stand for at firstamericanishere.com. First American Bank and Trust.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
Farm Burger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you. I'll be honest, I don't think this was a problem that they ever fixed. I don't think they fixed that pane of glass. It seems that they just took the piece off the rink, and they seem content that it's not enough of an issue to stop us from continuing playing this game. But I don't know, maybe we spoke too soon. Looked like we were almost going to have a face-off here. Gonna stand up here and stretch the legs a little bit. At what point is duct tape not kosher to use? It's an interesting question. Head coach Steve Martinson is waving his four on the ice back to the bench to talk things over. I think head coach Steve Martinson is asking Philip Virgili to go and talk with the officials, saying, hey, what are we doing here? Well, Crustacean Nation, we're about 7.5 minutes from the regular season ending here. And it has been the honor of my professional career to be calling games for the Athens Rock Lobsters this season. And all of that joy has come from you. Whether it's you packing yourself into the arena to make a moment even more special, to hear the roar of a crowd as a goal is scored, or you guys that have been watching from home and talking along with us at the chat, you've been a part of telling this story as well. I've loved every second of it. I can't wait to have that excitement multiplied in the postseason. And I really hope that I can come back next season and do it all with you guys again. Very apt song. What's going on? What's going on is a face-off. All right. Virgili wins the draw, sent all the way down by Shinkarik. For those of you just joining us, a long delay due to an issue with the rink. But we're back in action here. Slahetka, right in front of the right circle, fires the shot, takes a deflection. Rosenzweig pokes it away. Shinkarik, backhand shoveler out, stopped at the line by Slahetka. Poked ahead by Virgili. 2-on-0 here. Virgili in the slot. Saved by Petizian into the netting. What a chance for the Rock Lobsters to bury this game and put it to bed. But there is still some light at the end of the tunnel here for Columbus, as they look for bragging rights one more time before the playoff series between these two teams begin. Right now, though, it's the Rock Lobsters who are on top, 4-2. Oja out of the inboards. Doing a great job of just playing keep away here as the Rock Lobsters are back at even strength. He's helped out by Powell. Oja from the left circle. Swept in towards the inboards. Picked back up by Columbus. Koryoff off the rip. One-timer over the bar. Greco with a step up. Finds Powell in the corner. Weisblatt. Shot gets blocked and deflected into the inboards. Whistled in by Hunter. Greco towards the center of the ice for Weisblatt. Greco, the former River Dragon, all the way down the ice. Offside committed by Columbus, as Doe didn't enter the zone with the puck before Wickline did. Horn sounds, and both Milan and Bersani will return to the benches and are now able to play what remains of regulation here. We'll see how it all shakes out on the leaderboards. Another face-off win by the Rock Lobsters. It has been a very, very good night in that category. Shot goes wide. Stafora with the effort there. Murray to Stafora. Stafora with a loose touch, couldn't take it toward net. Puck loose out in front. Columbus able to sweep it away. It's a 3-point night tonight for Tyson Kirkby. Looks like he's still going to fall short of Garrett Milan, though. 5 minutes left of regulation. Virgili in front of the half wall. Smith on the near side. Shepherds it. Smith over the line. Had a brilliant solo goal in Game 1 against the Binghamton Black Bears. Doherty fires it away from his own blue line to the opposing blue line. Shinkarik can't get it ahead, but it's an offside call going against the River Dragons. Referees having to separate the youngster there, Joel Texmo and Malik Johnson. Texmo, we didn't get a chance to talk about him last night. He's another one of these developmental signings, this time out of the GMHL. How about this? 32 goals, 37 assists for 69 points with the Wasaga River Dragons this year. River Dragons as a junior, River Dragons as a pro. Rock Lobsters with another face-off win. Glukarioff ahead to Milan. Tries a shot on the short side, misses wide off the end boards, and here come the River Dragons moving west to east. Bersani takes it himself to the corner, whistles it around the boards. Taken away by Athens and Garrett Milan. Milan had the option in the centering pass as Weisblatt was on the far side. Glukarioff with an effort that's saved and seen the whole way by Petizian. Rock Lobsters with a 4-2 lead here. 4 different goal scorers as well. Milan, Glukarioff, Virgili, and Gallant. River Dragons PA, Dana, who's a great, great guy, trying to keep the fan energy here alive. You might think that this game is over, but there's still hockey to be played here at the Columbus Civic Center as puck takes a piece of someone on the River Dragon bench, and we'll stop time with 3:29 to go. McDonald has it his way on the faceoff. Kolatarsi, good play with a stick defensively. Virgili takes a heavy hit in behind from Slatka. Virgili returns the favor there on Moore, and Virgili can't believe that he's going to get a penalty for that. He has to return to the bench after losing his helmet. Another hit from Gallant. Johnson, very animated and upset at someone on the Columbus side. Virgili there, very upset on the penalty call. I'm not sure what the call is going to be. I think the puck was still there to be played. Wouldn't think that it's interference. Could it be a low bridge? No announcement yet, but the River Dragons remain in this game thanks to a late power play here. Rock Lobsters have done a good job on the penalty kill tonight, but they have to keep the River Dragons out one more time. Maybe I shouldn't say one more time with the way that this has shaken out thus far. Calls haven't necessarily been friendly for Athens. And the River Dragons do win this face-off. Slehetka rips a shot. Skips like a stone into the midsection of Rosenzweig. It was called a trip. The hip check for Virgili was called a trip. Offensive zone face-off for the River Dragons. Wonder at what point Columbus starts thinking about pulling Patisi in here. Milan gets the puck out of the joust in the face-off circle, sends it all the way around for Patisi into play. Leaves it for Thornton. Out to the left for Slehetka. Cut out by Milan. And Milan will even things up here. Are they going to call that an offside? Because otherwise, why was the whistle blown? Texmo will now sit. He'll join Virgili, who's sitting for tripping, and Texmo, the youngster who is still playing his first 5 or 6 games of pro hockey, will also sit for 2 minutes. The Rock Lobsters have a goal on the 4-on-4 tonight. Believe it was Gallant's 40th of the year that came on the 4-on-4. Kolatarsi trying to challenge Patisi, and pad saved by the 26-year-old. A little bit more comfortable for Athens on the 4-on-4 compared to this late power play that the River Dragons had. Leaks out toward Hunter in the near corner. Storjahan. Left circle shot. Blocked out. Followed up. What a save, Rosenzweig! Stops Hunter from scoring his second of the game. Rosenzweig still playing like it's a tied game. Wants to keep Columbus where they are. No goaltender in the net for the River Dragons. Storjahan passing in the right circle, back to Storjahan. Have the extra attacker here with the empty net. Otherwise, we would be skating 4 apiece. Storjahan rides a pass to the goal line. McDonald into the glove of Rosenzweig. Tried to fire the shot himself. Troy Murray. Brody Thornton with the attempt on the takedown there. Murray ends up firmly on top. So Murray will go ahead and get the early shower in, as will Thornton. Robertson's still there in the corner. Net is staying empty here. As the River Dragons try and make this a one-goal game and make it interesting as we're quickly approaching the final minute of play. So, Ty, I believe he'd be sent off even if it was just an even fight. You get 5 for fighting with less than 5 minutes remaining in regulation. You go ahead and send him to the locker room. McDonald out of the faceoff. Sturgeon in the right circle. Backhands it from the goal line. Saved by Rosensweat. Sturgeon initially didn't take the puck with him. Alden almost won that back. I would take an Alden empty net goal here for sure. Milan trying to win it off Sturgeon. Almost does, but finds more at the line. Sturgeon. Rock Lobsters back at even strength. Actually, they're on the power play here technically, but even amount of skaters. Tight angle shot all the way out. Philip Virgili fresh out the box, trying to bury this game, misses wide. And then fired from the near side was Alden. A cruel jump. Alden, oh, he just misses wide. No. No. Virgili will fire himself, bat it out of midair. Alden out in front. Alden scores! It's finally done. It's finally done. Hunter Alden, so long waiting for his first professional goal, and he has it. Oh my goodness, folks. A near tear being brought to my eye right now. And there is Alden right on your screen celebrating with his team. Folks, that is an all-time moment in this season. Columbus fans probably very confused. Probably low-key frustrated, low-key miffed off. But that is tremendous. Hunter Alden with his first pro goal. It may have came on the empty netter. But Athens is able to just about put this game completely to rest. There's going to be a little bit time remaining on the clock here after the Athens icing. What a beautiful end to this game and to the regular season. And the Rock Lobsters finish off the River Dragons 5-2, but neither team is finished just yet. The Rock Lobsters came into this game knowing that they wanted to exact revenge on Columbus after the performance last night. They also had some boxes to check before the regular season would finish. Those checklists, that checklist was comprised of maybe 3 points, maybe 4 points. Let's put it at 4 points. Get a win. Milan, point number 100. Gallant, goal number 40. And get Hunter Alden a goal. They were able to check off all of those boxes as the Rock Lobsters win the final game of the regular season. But folks, there is still more hockey to come in this campaign for the Athens Rock Lobsters. If you haven't already, go ahead and secure your playoff tickets. The Rock Lobsters are guaranteed to play at Aikens Ford Arena in Game 2 of the 3-game series a best of 3 between the Columbus River Dragons and the Athens Rock Lobsters. Make sure you scan the QR code on your screen right now to get your tickets for this upcoming Friday at 7:05, Game 2 between the Columbus River Dragons and your Athens Rock Lobsters. Let's bring out the game sheet here to see who will be our 3 stars of the night. And I think it'll be pretty easy for me to say. And it's not going to be the 3 stars that are read out here over the loudspeaker, folks. I'm sorry. I'm just in that kind of mood. Star number 3. And look, Philip Virgili, who had a 3-point night, he's going to be very hard done by. And Philip's my friend, and I'm sorry to do this to you, Phil. But here are our special Athens Rock Lobsters 3 stars of the night here on the broadcast. Star number 3, who had a goal and an assist in this game, was able to secure point number 100 on the year, is now on 101, seems likely to end the season as the points leader here in the FPHL will be Garrett Milan. Star number 2, who scored his 40th of the season and as a rookie seems likely to end his FPHL rookie campaign atop the FPHL leaderboards in goals. Star number 2 will be Kason Gallant. But star number 1, he's been star number 1 in our hearts all season long. He's always done the little things right. But he was finally able to get his first professional goal. The man from Walla Walla, Hunter Alden, who scored on the empty netter to put this game to rest. One of the most beautiful moments we've seen here as a part of the Athens Rock Lobster season. It was a regular season of so many memories that we got to share together. Thank you for sharing them with me, and thank you for tuning in all season long. But we're not ready to say goodbye yet, folks. Make sure you join us. Wednesday night, we'll be here in Columbus. You can go ahead and make the trip, but we'll bring it right to you here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. After that, a game at Aikens Ford Arena, back to the tank, back to home ice, as the Rock Lobsters will take on the River Dragons in their first ever home playoff game. If necessary, we are back to the tank Saturday night at 7:05. Make sure you get your tickets for these playoff games at Aikens Ford Arena now. I will see you there. I will see you Wednesday here, but can't wait for playoff hockey with Crustacean Nation.